Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, like the videos. Hi, Photos subscribers. Today we are talking about starting out. What do we do? How do we keep a focus? What's our challenge? So from this point on, I'm going to be working on setting up a challenge for y'all. If y'all would like to participate in that, I will issue a daily challenge. Let's set that differently. Let's do a weekly challenge. Every Monday in the videos we put out, I'm going to be setting an object, a number, or other things that we're talking about in this video as a weekly challenge. You don't have to participate the full week, but this one coming out today and being our first challenge video, I'm going to set this one for this week. Now we can, as we said, do this all week long, or you can just do this for a day of that week. I understand some of y'all may also have full-time day jobs and so or other jobs that are keeping you away from photography full-time. But as this challenge goes, I want to suggest that we do one thing and focus on that and get an experience of how this works, and then you could start setting your own schedule of challenges and what you're going to shoot, focus on, that sort of thing. However, a lot of stock photographers that I know, or photographers in general, keep their skills up by giving themselves a challenge. When they go out and shoot, they shoot one thing and they focus only on that one thing. Now, when we go into talking about other subjects and topics in this channel of different various means, such as photography portfolio or a photography website, we're going to keep reiterating these common things, such as keeping it simple and having a main point. Specifically for portfolio, if you are applying for a photography job in a studio, you're going to want to focus your experience and your good work on one subject. Now, some studios are going to want to put you into a variety of different things, but show your strength with a good, solid showing of one thing. Now, it doesn't have to be one product only, but show them the breadth of what you can do with product shots. If you're going to shoot for a portrait studio, show them the variety of skin tone and styling options that you have available in your skill set, the lighting availability you have. So, all that condensed into one topic. And no, I wasn't going to say all that being said. All of that being condensed for this one video of doing one thing and sticking to it, I'm going to be talking about what that looks like and how, starting out, we can start doing one thing to set the focus. Set our focus for shooting. If you want to do this for a week, that's awesome. If you want to do it for 2 weeks, that's great. I would not suggest doing anything of this style for shooting this object any shorter than 1 day's time frame. For the entire amount of time in a 24-hour period that you have your camera in your hand, focus on that one thing you said is your focus. What can those focused items be? Well, you can set your focus of object shooting of a color. Since we set such tight boundaries on the other objects, I would say to be very careful on your discernment of color. Don't say any hue of green, for instance. Don't do lime green and, I just lost the word, but like fir tree dark green, okay? Douglas firs are kind of a greenish blue. Other evergreens, cedars are a dark, rich, almost winter type of green. When you think of winter red and green, you think of that dark, rich, dark green Christmas tree needle of sorts, or other garland. So I would say don't set your sights so high that you have to take your color swatch with you to make sure it matches up perfectly, but distinguish between light greens, the medium shades, or the medium hues of green and the dark green. Be selective. Be a little bit picky on what you shoot and why. Other things could be objects. I've seen photography work, street photography even, where they focus on hands. They focus on eyes. So they may get more of a full shot, but they're focusing on the eyes. So they're not afraid if they crop off the chin or the top of the head, because they're focused on the eyes. You could go even as tight as one eye, but do it artistically, tastefully. Don't do what you find is good and artistic, but don't make it creepy and just one eye. Perhaps it's just my taste, so don't take this as a thou shalt not across the board for all photography. I just don't find it tasteful, in my opinion, to take photographs and compile a composite image of all these eyes without a broader perspective of that, to have a larger composite image of something together because of the color of skin tone and shade of the image and that sort of stuff. I've seen those composited to create a larger portrait of some kind, creating detail and an object. But I would suggest to keep it artistic and allow the rest of the image and the frame of that image to draw and create the space needed for the leading lines and everything else creatively, to allow yourself that flexibility, even within that photograph, to allow yourself the flexibility of drawing the viewer's eye to your intended object. There's a little bit of a learning curve to what is too much, quote, dead space around your subject or your object of focus, and also what is too little space to where it's too close, and it encourages the viewer to kind of push and back away. Something else could be any kind of, as we say out here in the country, critter, a bird or wild cats or dogs. If you have coyotes in your area, they're fascinating creatures to be able to view from afar, and not a lot of people in cities are able to get views of what are considered country wildlife. If you're in a farm area where you have farm animals, goats, sheep, pigs, horses, cows, a lot of people find those interesting. There were some areas that I've lived, there were longhorns that were grazing, and often it was just one or two in a pasture. But for farm areas, agricultural areas, even some states pride themselves on their livestock and various types of livestock. So set your, if your interest is bovine, in general, don't set it just to any bovine. Take different breeds, Brahma bulls, or a specific breed of cow. If you want to focus on the young offspring of those breeds, you could do that as well. It's going to be important, obviously, that you know your breed of bovine, but that it's also showing the viewer the distinguishing characteristics of those breeds. It could also be something as, I don't want to call it simple in that respect, but it doesn't have to be anything as, quote, genred as we've talked about. It could be simple letters. There are interesting occurrences of, what's the word I'm looking for? Shrubs that send branches out into an alpha or a structure, and you can take a different perspective and find another branch that's giving a crossbar to that A. So find something interesting and be creative in where you see it and how you see it. Be creative in the perspective you take to find it. Even though the item may not necessarily be creating that A, perhaps the sun is shining through that object, just a way to cast a shadow of that object that you want to capture, whether it be the letter A or could even be a number. You see numbers. Rounding numbers from the numbers that we've derived of our rounded nines and that sort of thing could be a little difficult to find in shades or actual occurring shapes of trees. A lot of odd things have been found, so be creative. Don't narrow yourself in. Even if you want to take a number, you could allow yourself the creativity to find the block numbers or the rounded numbers. In fact, the creation of the numbering system itself is very fascinating to study into. So allow yourself the opportunity to learn, and allow yourself the opportunity to be creative, and take some time to be able to study and do that as a normal part of your day, and keep things creative for yourself and alive and entertaining. The more entertaining and fun you have, the more entertained and the more fun that your viewers will have, has always been my opinion, and has always been a philosophy that I use to infuse my media with a lot of energy and excitement. I don't have a huge personal drawing personality as a lot of others do. I work on cultivating more of that so it's natural and it doesn't appear to be overbearing. But the more we can naturally create interest within ourselves to draw someone's attention to us in a good manner, in a right form, the more entertained the viewer will be, whether we're giving a poem or we're showing our art or anything else. It's one of those draws of art that we find sometimes very difficult for ourselves to push ourselves out of our comfort zone, or something by which we enable the viewer to participate in what we're showing them, even if it's in a passive way. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, like the videos, and comment down below. If any of this content has brought value to your shooting and caused you a little bit of discomfort getting out of your comfort zone, I don't want to cause you great discomfort, but I do want to encourage you to move on and to grow and to, as we say, level up your skill and move from one level of great to the next. Thank you so much. God bless.